Hello, welcome to the final video in this series. It consists only of poetry that's been written over many years. I hope that you may find the poems to be very enjoyable. I will begin by saying that over the years a number of poems have been provided to this speaker as the instrument through which the poems would eventually be made available for others to enjoy. Many of our viewers have found them to be both interesting and worthwhile. A few of them have been included in this video and will be mentioned later. Perhaps you'll find the time to listen and watch each one. Most of them are mystical or spiritual in nature, and it's hoped that you'll enjoy them as much as others before you have done. The first poem will hopefully offer a bit of insight about those cloudy days that come along in everyone's life now and then. It has a somewhat unusual title, With Woman and With Man. The second poem has a more serious tone. It's called A Fine November Day. Excuse me. The third poem is seasonal. The title is Remembering. Following that is another seasonal poem that perhaps would be most enjoyed in the months of November or December. Yet the lessons within it are without time or season and are worthwhile reading at any time. It looks a holiday season from a point of view that may be somewhat different than that which one might expect from the title. It is called December 25th. The final poem on our list is also seasonal, yet could apply to any date because its lessons are also timeless. Additionally, it's more mystical and more spiritual in its content. It is called The Star. Let's begin. This poem may offer just a bit of insight into one of the reasons why we have difficulties in our lives. Have you ever wondered why night follows day and day follows night? This poem is called With Woman and With Man, as mentioned earlier. Some days in life the sun shines bright, while some days bring soft rain. Some days we have an awful storm, then sunshine comes again. The rain that spoils our picnic plans gives thirsty crops a drink. Picnickers frown, but farmers smile. It makes you stop and think. Think about this life we live and all that it may bring. Some days take all we have to give, while some days our hearts just sing. But if life was filled with easy days and never brought us pain, we'd never know how good it feels when sunshine follows rain. So when we look at things that way, we know there's some big plan where God knows what He's doing with woman and with man. And even though we may not see or may not understand, God still knows what He's doing with woman and with man. I hope you enjoyed that. In a tone somewhat more serious, the next poem was written for the wedding of a very dear friend. The word sun, S-U-N, is mentioned twice. The first time as the sun in our solar system, the second time as the Christ, the Son, S-O-N, of God. The poem is called A Fine November Day. On a sunny, fine November day, a milestone reached along the way. A special time of peace and joy for God's own special girl and boy. A time of joining hearts and hands, a time of matching wedding bands, a time of pledging vows now taken, as chains of past fall loose now shaken. The sun shines bright toward future days and spreads its light in countless ways. The sun's light shines too brighter still as He walks with them, if they will. Then lives and grows their sacred bond between man and woman, now as one, and brighter shines their future still, for he walks with them, if they will. I hope you enjoyed that also. The next poem is seasonal in its subject matter, but whether or not that particular holiday season is present, or whether or not it is even consistent with your own personal beliefs, I still hope that you will enjoy the poem for its own sake. It was written quite a number of years ago, and the title is Remembering. As blustery December draws near to a close, and the nip of Jack Frost brightly colors each nose, every breath marks its place with a vapory cloud, and the earth is resigned to a wintry shroud. The snow in its whiteness envelops all things, while off in the distance a lonely bell rings. Then another chimes in, and a duo is heard. If you listen with care now, you'll hear still a third. From all o'er the city now others join in, while carolers add to the joyous din. Nowhere in sight are their faces forlorn. They're remembering the day baby Jesus was born. That's one of my favorites. I hope you like it too. The next poem was written in the hope that it will point out the fact that the majority of those societies which celebrate December 25th as the birthday of Master Jesus, the Christ, are too often losing sight of the true nature and spirit of the holiday. The focus tends to be more on the material aspects of the season rather than on the spiritual. Hopefully this poem will help us to see some things a bit differently. It's called December 25th. A day is fast approaching that we see just once a year. It comes December 25th, I'll say for all to hear. We do a lot of shopping first and spend a lot of cash, or some folks just say charge it in the hopes their cash will last. All the frantic buying then, they say, does lots of good. The economy of our country smiles when we spend like we should. The merchants love this time of year. You know why they all do. But does the bottom line make the world go round for your family and you? I think if we considered things the way we really should, we'd reach some new conclusions. Yes, I'm almost sure we would. After all, the day that comes, the day of which we speak, is it one that we should think about all year, not just that week. It's a day that means much more to us than gifts or mistletoe. It's a day to give a lot of thought to the way our lives should go. Should we pursue a life that dwells too much on what we own? Or maybe getting even more, take out another loan? Or should we set our sights for life on reaching higher goals, like trying hard to get our name put down on angels' rolls? There is a fine example of a life that we might try, to live just like the best we can, or know the reason why. The life I mentioned as a life to follow when we can was lived out many years ago in a very distant land. The name of him who lived it then was Jesus, you may know. He lived that life so perfectly 2,000 years ago. He told us even greater things were things that we could do, and he didn't mean just certain folks. He spoke of me and you. So to honor and remember him, we set aside that day, the date December 25th, to remind us in that way of the day that he was born and of the life he led, the way he hung upon that cross, the way he slowly bled. He truly gave up life that day to show us all that we should give our lives up too for God, though not so literally. To serve and worship him each day in one way or another, to see each woman and each man as sister and as brother, to do our best to do away with hunger and with pain, to see that no child goes to bed while hungry yet again, to change this world so all its folks will live in such a way that we seek God first in everything, and each day is Christmas Day. I hope you found that interesting and worthwhile for yourself. I liked it very much. The final poem is also seasonal, but much more mystical and spiritual in its content than any of the others. This poem and the previous two may possibly be seen by some as being single-mindedly Christian in their focus, and this may cause those who are not of the Christian faith to have second thoughts about the focus of this speaker. With poetry, however, as with many other creative efforts, the author is merely an instrument of the true source of all things. Additionally, many readers will be aware that the Christ Spirit is universal and is present in the teachings and/or the traditions of many of the world's religions. The names or the stories may not be the same, but the attainment of Christhood, or becoming one with the universal Christ Spirit, is a tale that has been told and retold through the ages. These particular poems simply mention Christmas. This one is called The Star. 2,000 years ago, say I, its brightness filled the evening sky. The star that shone so brightly then, though never gone, has come again. Where is it? Some will say to me. They scan the sky, but do not see. I sometimes think they're worlds apart, for when I look, 'tis in my heart. 'Tis there I look, and there I see. Its brilliant light shines constantly. Though other eyes have searched the night, its beauty still eludes their sight. So they look up and up again, but it's a game they will not win. For they aren't looking where he told of treasure valued more than gold. We find the king in his kingdom then, and he said his kingdom is within. So once again I close my eyes, and in my heart I see the prize. His brilliant light is there to stay, and every day is Christmas Day. Once again, thank you for watching this video and the other videos in the series. There's a possibility that you would like to visit a website called www.humbleseeker.org or the website www.lightforthepath.org. They pretty much cover what the videos have covered, but they may give you some additional information and give you some more time to look and read and study and absorb. I want to thank you for watching this final video. I want to thank you for watching all and any of the videos that you watched. And I wish you well. May God bless you in your efforts to get on and stay on the path for spiritual enlightenment. God bless you. Thank you again.